Hi, this is Chase Utley, and this is the Phillies Show.
Hi, everybody. It is September 19th, 2025. It's Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. We got Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury. I'm Todd Zalecki. It's the Phillies Show. Phillies were off on Thursday, but they won 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers earlier this week. They clinched the NL East. Lots of stuff to talk about. Rob Thompson, guys, the other day at Dodger Stadium, dropped some serious hints about his postseason rotation. I think we should talk about it. It's time for the Parks first pitch. First pitch is brought to us exclusively by our partners at Parks Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. You know it. Guys, Rob Thompson on this before the series finale on Wednesday, we were talking about the postseason rotation because he had said we don't know what the rotation is going to be in Arizona because I have to talk to a few guys. We're going to shuffle some things around. We're going to do a couple things in preparation for the final couple weeks of the season. And then he said, yeah, we're going to have Taijuan Walker and Walker Buehler. They're going to piggyback on Friday, Nola Saturday, Ranger Suarez Sunday. But then he said Cristopher Sánchez is going to start next Tuesday against the Marlins at Citizens Bank Park. And why is that? Because it allows him to pitch the regular season finale on September 28th against the Twins at Citizens Bank Park. And that lines him up to start game 1 of the division series. He also mentioned that we floated the idea of you like the idea of splitting up hard-throwing Sanchez, hard-throwing Jesus Luzardo with Ranger Suarez. He says, I do like that idea. So sounds to me, guys, right now, NLDS, it's going to be Sanchez, Suarez, Luzardo. Do you see it going any other way? What are your thoughts?
I'm shocked.
You didn't see it coming, Jim. I know.
This is just what we've been talking about for weeks. This is a no-brainer. Ruben?
Well, I think they're disappointed that they have to go this way, to be honest with you. I think that they would rather have a right-hander in the rotation. And
you go with your best.
And they don't have someone that they can go with. Nola has not pitched well enough to take that spot. Now, he might, if they go to a 4-man, I got to believe that he would be the guy. I can't imagine that he would not be the guy. I mean, Walker Buehler would have to throw like unbelievably well in his next start. On was it Friday? Is it Friday? He's doing the.
He's actually gonna piggy
starts.
Yeah, he's gonna get 2. Yeah, he's gonna start one. He's gonna start maybe the next time out. After
they're doing the Walker Buehler.
Yes, Rob was very proud of that.
He was very proud of that. They're doing the Taijuan Walker Buehler piggyback. Anyway, no, I'm not shocked, and I am not shocked that they split up the 2 guys. You got to go with Sanchez, Suarez, and Luzardo. Simple, pretty simple. Now it would have been awesome to be able to have Zach Wheeler in there, but you don't got him, and you got to go what you got.
You got to go with your best. They're your best 3. You know, if they're all left-handed, they're all left-handed. They're the guys who you feel best about getting you outs. Nola, it would have been great to have a righty, but he hasn't shown enough at this time. Maybe he will for the NLCS. I don't know, but you know, you got to give the ball to Sanchez is going to finish second to Cy Young. He's got to get the ball first. You put the finesse guy in the middle and the other power guy third. So we'll see how it shapes up. I think lefty righty. If you pitch good, put the ball in good spots, you can beat anybody.
So, but Rob also had something else interesting to say. We asked him a question about Nola. It might have actually been a question about Buehler. Can he do something to kind of push himself into that conversation? And Rob said, I mean, Nola's never pitched out of the pen. So I tried to read between the lines there. And to me, it sounds like if the Phillies get to the NLCS where you are going to need a 4th starter, that's going to be Nola on a very short leash.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. They're going to have to keep an eye on him. And once he starts going south, because that big inning has nipped him heavy this year, and it has over the last couple of years a little bit more. When things start to unravel for him, they're going to have somebody ready.
That's when Buehler will come in.
They can have 4 good innings out of him. Maybe Buehler piggybacks, maybe somebody else. Who knows? But maybe they go with a bullpen type of a scenario. Who knows? But he's not coming out of the pen. It ain't happening unless it's the 7th game and they have everybody hands on deck and they got to win the 7th game.
Right, and he knows where his pocket's going to be. He can start warming up an hour earlier.
Right.
Yeah, it's not ideal, of course, but we've seen the Dodgers bullpen their way to a couple World Series titles over the past few years. So, if they can somehow squeeze out 3 or 4 good innings from Aaron Nola, go to Walker Buehler, go to the bullpen, they can make it work, I think. So, not ideal, but it is what it is. Sanchez, Suarez, Luzardo, and then Nola probably in the NLDS. The Dodgers, they could face in the NLDS. Their rotation did very well against the Phillies offense. So what did you guys think about that? I mean, if you take out the opener that they pitched on Monday night,
which was ridiculous.
Why?
Ridiculous.
Why?
Them to throw the opener in there because Sheehan's been throwing really, really well. He could have ended up. They could have won that ball game without the Phillies getting ahead.
They want to show how smart they are, Ruben.
I think it was ridiculous. Put Sheehan in there and let him pitch. The man's been throwing the ball extremely well.
Well, how about this?
I can't understand it. I don't get it.
Well, the 3 Dodgers starters, Sheehan, Ohtani, Snell, they allowed a combined 2 hits against Phillies hitters, did not allow a single run the entire series. Does that have you guys nervous?
Yes.
Second round matchup, potentially. Yeah. They got it. And the Dodgers been, they've had some rough pockets, but they've gone through this whole year with their eye on October. All that matters for them is October and being ready for October. And they got some firepower in that rotation, as we saw against the Phillies. And I know a lot of folks out there say, the Phillies don't hit good starters. But, just a few weeks ago, they demolished a pretty good Seattle rotation. So, but, recency, they didn't hit LA Dodgers starters. So, I think that would be something to keep an eye on if it's a second round matchup, if it's an NLCS matchup, third round, I guess it would be.
No doubt it's a concern, but I'm glad that they saw them. It's important that they saw them and got a feel for them. I think just having gotten their eyes on them doesn't mean they're going to hit them necessarily, but the more you see a guy, the more apt you have a chance to make adjustments on them, and it's not new to you. They've never faced Ohtani. They never faced Sheehan. I mean, they don't face Blake Snell, although they had a lot of success with him, some success with him in the past.
Right.
But Snell was dealing. I mean, his stuff was spectacular, and I don't think the 27 Yankees could have hit him. So on that particular day, I'm glad that they saw them. I think it was important, and it's important for the next time around. And you have to be concerned about it because they didn't do very much against them. I mean, it literally had gave up like a run, whatever it was. But you have to hope that they're having some familiarity with them now will help them later on.
Ruben, can you explain the benefit of seeing a pitcher just for the first time in terms of then seeing them a couple weeks later or later in the season? So, because the Phillies did talk, now we saw the spin, we saw what he's got, talking about Ohtani specifically, but can you, as someone who's been in the batter's box, kind of explain that a little bit more maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, throughout my, in the minor leagues, I was actually a pretty accomplished offensive player, but when you haven't seen a guy, you haven't seen the rotation, the ball out of his hand, you haven't seen how the ball moves. If the guy's throwing really consistent strikes, it's tough. It's tough to make the adjustment. Now, if that person's making mistakes in the middle of the plate, doesn't matter who they are, you can do damage against them. But I think it's really important for your eyes and your brain to and your body to see these pitches and to have seen them live makes a really big difference. Like, there's no surprises. Like, I've seen every pitch he's thrown. I've seen his changeup. I see, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have success against him, but the familiarity of knowing what the spin's like, where the ball is likely to break, how that cutter's going to react, knowing all those things, I think helps your mind and your body adjust a little bit better to him last time. You see this all the time. Like, You see a rookie come up and they face a veteran team. If the guy can throw strikes, he's got a really big advantage because the veteran guys haven't seen him. If you haven't seen him, it gives you a really big advantage. So there is some advantage to have seen these guys. Not that they're going to have success against them, but at least they know and have an expectation of how the ball is going to move out of their hand.
Real quick, what did you think of Ohtani?
I thought Ohtani was spectacular. That's the best I've ever seen him throw. And I've seen him throw quite a bit, but his velocity was averaging like 100 miles an hour in his fastball.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him average that kind of fastball. He had really good stuff, man. Really impressive. And I mean, I would assume they'll let him get stretched out a little bit more in the playoffs, and that's why they're being so cautious. But who knows, man? What a specimen.
They've been gearing for this. They've been gearing for the postseason.
No doubt.
And, they've had a lot of injuries in the rotation, and they kind of were like, okay, let's just get healthy for October and see what happens with Ohtani, Glasnow, Snell, Sheehan. Who am I missing? Yamamoto.
Yeah, they're just going to push all those guys and piggyback them and, keep firing them out there because their bullpen sucks. Their bullpen is terrible. It sucks.
It was unbelievable.
Well, it's really, really bad and exploitable. But if they don't pitch and they score enough runs and those starting guys who are getting piggyback hold the other team down, then they don't need that sucky bullpen.
Well, it was funny. I think they might have shown this. No,
you're not wrong. You're just blunt.
Yeah. I think one of the funniest moments of the week was Rafael Marchand on Tuesday night. I think they showed the interview on TV.
That quote was great.
That quote was great. He was asked about Ohtani and how good he was, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's a stud for reasons." Like, but then they got him out of the game, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we got a chance!" And then we won the game. He was laughing and smiling. He was so happy, obviously, because he had that big home run. But I think probably every player in that dugout was excited.
They threw a party when he was pulled out of there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I threw a party in the booth.
Exactly. I mean, Ohtani's amazing. 50 home runs. 50, pitching.
I think we have the bias about the MVP, but just having watched him do what he did, had he had more starts, I think, and had more of an impact as a starter, I think it'd be a runaway.
Mm-hmm.
But as it stands, there's still a fighter's chance that Schwarber gets the nod. But man, he's ridiculous.
They've both had awesome seasons, and ridiculous is a good word for Ohtani. I feel like we all think Schwarber's the MVP because we sort of get a very close look at him all the time and the total package from the batter's box to the clubhouse, all the pluses that he brings to that lineup. And you take him out of that lineup, and where are you? But I feel like nationally, Ohtani is just going to be viewed as a notch above Schwarber. I think it's going to be a fascinating vote, but I do think nationally, Ohtani's going to get a lot of love. So it'll still be hey, you don't hold the trophy up, I know, when you finish second, but it's still a hell of a season and a hell of an accomplishment. So, hey, that was First Pitch, and it is presented exclusively by our partners at Parx Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. ParxCasino.com is the website. You must be 21 years old to participate. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, if you're a card collector or you're looking to collect, buy, sell, trade, Arena Club's the spot. I'm going to tell you why. Because the old process, AJ, was very clunky. Buy a box, rip the pack, tons of commons, send it in for grading. And then finally, you get everything back. This is weeks and weeks, and you can start to try and sell the card. We have eliminated that with Arena Club, or they have. I act like I'm part of it, but in really one step.
Arena's your one-stop shop for everything. You get a card, you open a slab pack, the card is there, it's graded, it spins around coolly, shows you 3D, the front, the back, you can look at the corners, you can look at everything, and then you get a decision. Do I want to keep it? Do I want to sell it? Do I want to trade it? It gives you an instant offer. You can buy it back and re-rip another slab pack and try for something else, or you can keep it and hope the value goes up and sell it at a later date. It is truly the best spot to get cards.
20% off your first slab pack or card purchase can be had right now at arenaclub.com/FOUL and use code FOUL.
We are back. Want to give you a shout out to the phillyshowshop.com. We've been moving some merch. People have been supporting the show. We appreciate your support of the show. All over the place. Just watching us on YouTube and listening to us on Apple, Spotify, following us on social media. And now, of course, we have the phillyshowshop.com. So check that out, guys. I wanted to mention a few injury updates. Alec Boehm is expected to be activated from the injured list before Friday night's series opener against Arizona. That's good news. Edmundo Sosa is likely to be activated from the IL before Tuesday night's game against the Marlins at Citizens Bank Park. But the really big news is that Trey Turner seems to be progressing very well. Every time we've asked Rob Thompson about it, he's kind of been, he's doing great. He's really doing great. I can't even believe how great he's doing. He's been fielding ground balls. He's been hitting in the cage. He's been jogging at about 50%, but he's going to slowly pick that up. And Rob said he thinks he could face live pitching at some point next week, likely against a Phillies minor leaguer who would come down from, Lehigh Valley probably, and maybe face him at Citizens Bank Park. And wanted to, thoughts on Turner overall, I guess, and his recovery and how important that is before the postseason. Just to, even if he just comes back on Saturday and Sunday against the Twins, how important is that? And then bigger picture postseason, I think I know the answer to this. Is he still your leadoff hitter? You keep Harrison Bader in the leadoff spot? Do you do anything crazy there, or you just kind of go back to what it was?
I think it's crucial, or it would be great if he gets back even for a couple games, just so he can test it and trust it, right? I think that's huge. And he would go back to the leadoff for me. Bader's still going to be a big contributor. He reminds me of a guy who doesn't care where he hits. He just wants to be in there, bring energy, have fun, barrel a few up, and see what you can do. But that's the way I would go.
Yeah, completely agree with Jim. I think it's really important for him just because his legs are probably the biggest part of what he does. His range and defensively, Stott's played well at short for him. He's done a really nice job. Looks like he hasn't missed a beat since being moved to second base. And with Edmundo Sosa out, having to be put in that position, they've done a nice job. But you got to have Turner at the leadoff slot. He is an MVP type player. He's had the most hits in baseball, other than maybe Freddie Freeman, I guess, in the National League, or whoever it is. This is, he's the catalyst for the team, but his legs are really important, man. And my concern is he going to come back like 85% Trey Turner, or is he going to come back 100% Trey Turner and be able to go first to third, first to home, steal bases, beat out a infield ground ball, those kind of, to have the range that he's had and shown, because he's really improved defensively this year. That's a real concern. I'm hopeful that they nipped it in the bud so early that he will be ready to do those things and will be 100%, but you just don't know.
It'd be good to see him come back, again, just for a couple games, and then you get the bye.
So big for him to come back and play a couple.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you get the bye. So, if I think they're going to win the bye. They have basically a 6.5 game lead over the Dodgers with 9 to play. So they're going to get that bye. So that means that the postseason NLDS game 1 is Saturday, October 4th, as opposed to game 1 of that wild card series, which is Tuesday, September 30th. So you get an extra 5-6 days of him being able to kind of get off his feet and rest up and get his, get looked at by the trainers and worked on by the trainers. So, and then the other thing to kind of keep an eye on is he's really close to winning that batting title. So that'd be kind of a nice little thing to watch the final couple games if he does come back. He's got to get some hits.
Yeah.
If you hit 300, you're going to win a batting title, it looks like.
Yeah. He's hitting 305. Yeah. It's different day. These are different times, Ruben.
I don't care.
In the American,
hits mean something.
Absolutely.
Hits mean something, and it's marginalized. The base hit means something.
Absolutely. Trey's had his best year this year because he's
getting hits,
focusing on that.
And because he didn't take it personal and say they're picking on me when they sat him down and said, we want you to change a few things in spring training. He went out and said, I work for you. You guys are paying me handsomely. I'll do that. And he did it.
Love it.
We talked about
become an MVP caliber player again. I used to talk about it before. Like last year, he went through like 2 years ago from the second half to the first half. If you extrapolated those numbers together, I mean, he had like MVP type numbers, but it wasn't really that consistent, sadly. And then he got hurt. But this is a really great offensive player. There's a reason why he's getting paid $300 million. And
it sounds funny to say, but it sounds funny to say $300 million player, former batting champ, great player, great talent. He's like one of the most improved players in the National League this year.
Correct.
Because when you mix in when you look at where the defense has come and gone,
great call, Jim.
After some of the struggles, really proves you can be a great player and still get better.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we said Schwarber might finish second to Ohtani for MVP. I think Turner could finish top 5. You could have two Phillies in the top 5 potentially.
No question.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Turner has played well. It will be great for the Phillies to get him back before the end of the regular season if that ends up happening. Eagles coming up this weekend. Ruben, you're all over it.
Yeah, a lot of football, a lot of stuff, a lot of baseball. Winding things down. There's so many things at BetParx. It is the only online sports book and casino app I ever recommend. Live Bet. Use that at Live Bet app while you watch all the pro and college football action and the Philadelphia baseball playoffs coming up. This Sunday, 1 p.m., the Birds are 3.5 point home favorites hosting Los Angeles. The over-under total is 44.5 points. Saturday, college football, week 4. Among the top 25 teams in action on Saturday, Texas Tech versus Utah, Auburn versus Oklahoma, Illinois versus Indiana. My team at the BetParx online sportsbook and casino has a great offer for new users. Download the app, open an account, and get up to $50 back on your first sports bet, even if it doesn't win. Plus, you'll get a BetParx bonus box with 50 BetParx coins and 50 bonus spins on the BetParx Collect 'em online slot game. Bet football, baseball, pro golf, Saturday morning soccer, MMA fighting, and so much more. Bet more than the score. Bet player touchdowns, rushing and passing yards, and so many different things you can bet. For full terms and conditions, visit betparx.com. BetParx, where there's always another way to win. Must be 21, located in PA or New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Kratz, I'm going to steal a line right from the top here about MeUndies. A cut for every butt. I took a line that I feel like you would enjoy, but then you stole my thunder with show and tell. What do you have there?
Besides a huge Baduka dunk, this is my pair of MeUndies that I got. I'm not going to show you the other pair right now because I got them on, but it doesn't even feel like you have them on. Super soft, flexible, and yet holding everything together.
I love the 20 different styles, 100 different colors and prints, and the micro-modal fabric is what you're talking about. Breathable, stretchy, unbelievably cozy. And right now, as a listener of FT, you can get cozy and spooky for less with deals up to 50% off at MeUndies.com/foul and enter promo code FOUL. That's MeUndies.com/foul, promo code FOUL for up to 50% off. MeUndies, comfort that's made for fall.
All right, we're back. Let's wrap. Jim loves underwear talk.
I mean, look, whatever.
You know who I think started MeUndies? And I have a pair. I got a couple pair.
Do you really?
MeUndies in Boston. Hanley Ramirez, I think, was an investor in MeUndies, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to check it out.
You should have hooked you up, Ruben.
I'll have a chat with him. All right, man. I'm going to do the foul territory piece. Get a couple more.
Get the discount.
They're comfy, man. They're sweet, and they hold you in there nice and tight.
Oh gosh,
I love it.
What are we trying to say?
They're very soft, but they hold you in there nice and tight.
You sold me, Ruben. I love it.
Do it. They're nice. They're great.
Let's wrap up this show. I want to ask you guys another thing Rob Thompson said this week in Los Angeles, talking about the NLDS, besides the rotation. He said for that 5-game series, because of off days, he would feel comfortable. It doesn't say it's going to happen, but he would feel comfortable maybe going with a 12-man pitching staff, which would give him an extra bench guy. Do you guys like that idea? If so, who would you want as the extra bench guy right now? So you'd have Real Muto, Marchand, Bohm, Harper, Sosa, Stott, Turner, Marsh, Bader, Kepler, Schwarber, Castellanos, and then either Kemp or Wilson on there. That would leave either whoever you don't pick, Kemp or Wilson, and Johan Rojas and Garrett Stubbs as possibilities.
It's a good question. You could bring the speed and the defense in Rojas, or you could stick with the chemistry factor and stay with Otto Kemp and Weston Wilson. It's a tough call, but I might just stick with the chemistry. I think a lot of people might laugh at that, but it is you get a base running play by Rojas or a big play in the outfield. It's valuable, but I just have liked the way they've played lately with this configuration of players, and maybe you go that way. What do you think, guys?
I think for me, Otto Kemp and Weston Wilson have played themselves onto the team.
Okay.
I think they have. And I frankly would go with 11 pitchers. They're not going to do it. I'd go with 11 pitchers.
Really?
It's a 5-game series.
Yeah.
We used to play with 9 freaking pitchers. It's not going to happen. Use 3 starters. Anyway, I know it's not going to happen, but I would go with 11 and 6. But that's just me. Next.
Next.
And if they do go with 6, I put Rojas on it because they need the speed. Somebody's going to score from second base.
Defensively, he's an option, a great option as well. If they would, have to do a pinch hitting situation, and
it's true. You could go with 11. They used to go with 9-man pitching staff for a whole season.
For 162 season. Thank you.
You really could, and that would you'd have a bench then. I'll tell you that.
I would never have played in the big leagues if they had a configuration now.
Would you even need?
I would have never been in the big leagues.
But so you're saying a 15-man position players, you wouldn't even like. How would you use those guys? It's just, what would you be?
It would be pinch hitting for Kepler and Castellanos. That's the difference.
Okay.
You'd be pinch hitting for both of those guys. I mean, given the situation.
And you could use Castellanos as a pinch hitter and then not put him in the field.
Correct.
Like they did the other night, and it had everybody going, "What is happening here?"
Well,
and Rob
Cassie ended up making a hell of a play in the outfield the other night. It was a pretty damn good play. You got to give him some love for that. That said, he just doesn't have the same foot speed and doesn't have the same defensive abilities as some of the other guys do.
Yeah, I mean, Rob did.
You don't lose a game without having your best defensive team out there.
Right. He did do that the other night. Rob sent Nick up there after Harper homered in the 8th inning, and then he went and played right field, which is a gamble, of course. And I mean, Rob then the next day basically said, I told him he was going to go up and pinch hit. So it sounds like he didn't want to pull him back, and
he didn't want to dry hump him.
Right.
That's what a player's manager does. You tell a guy something, you stick to it.
Right. But in the postseason, that does not happen, right?
Well, not if you have Rojas.
No, because in the postseason, if they go up, I think the situation is different. They'll probably say, be ready if we happen to go ahead.
Yes. If the big man, if Harper hits a home run here and we take the lead, or we take the lead before we're pulling you back.
Then we're going to pull you back. And you have to be open and honest with them. I mean, listen, this is about one thing, man, winning. W's. Mm-hmm. Put the best players out there that you can. You don't know if it's going to work, but that's what you do.
You sold me on the 11-man staff.
Go to 11. It won't happen.
That's already too many guys.
Happen.
Go 11.
I would do 11, but that's not going to happen.
You got length in 2 guys out there. You carry Walker and Walker Buehler. You got length in 2 guys.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, so wait, so you would put Taijuan Walker and Walker Buehler on there, so Aaron Nola would not make the postseason roster?
Yeah, Nola's got to be on there. So what do you got?
Taijuan Walker would not.
So you'd bounce Walker. Okay.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Interesting. This is good stuff, man. I mean,
I don't see them doing that.
They will not do it. They will not do it.
They appreciate what he's done.
I would do it. I would like to do it because I want to trust my starters. Because if my starters don't go long, man, we're screwed anyway.
Right.
They're not going to disrespect Taijuan Walker like that. He's given them a nice contribution this year. They're not going to do that, I don't think. But it makes a lot of sense in the short series.
Absolutely, it does. So, okay, guys, Phillies, Diamondbacks, 3-game series. Diamondbacks are still trying to catch the Mets.
Right.
Nobody seems to really want to win that last wild card spot, including the Diamondbacks. Friday night, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. It is the Walker Buehler piggyback against Ryan Nelson. Saturday at 8:10 p.m. Eastern, it's Aaron Nola against Zach Gallen. And then Sunday, 4:10 p.m. Eastern, it is Ranger Suarez against Eduardo Rodriguez.
They do not play well here in the desert. Let's just call a spade here, my friends. They do not play well in the desert, and they need to play better baseball. I mean, listen, they took 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. That was phenomenal. No question about it. And they showed a lot of heart. But this has been a rough place for them here in the desert, and I'd like to see them turn things around.
They still have a chance. They still have a chance to catch the Brewers for the number 1 seed.
Correct.
The Brewers have the tiebreaker, so whatever the lead is, 2.5 games. It's or a game and a half. It's 2.5 games. So just keep that in mind when you look at the standings. But they have a chance. You get the number 1 seed. Now you're not facing the Dodgers in the NLDS. Not that there's any gimmies or anything like that, but you'd be playing the Padres or the Cubs then potentially in the NLDS.
And I like the way they match up against those 2 teams. I mean, they played the Dodgers well. There's no question about it. But that Dodgers team is stacked with talent.
You don't want to mess
with
them.
They are the reigning champions.
Yes, sir. So they have a lot to play for this weekend. They need to keep playing well. So, guys, we will be back next week.
Smell you later, boys.
Smell you, Jim.
The Philly Show is brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Subscribe to The Philly Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.